Welcome to Founders in 5. I'm here with founder of Rhombus, Garrett. We've been fortunate, one of our great companies. We've been fortunate to be involved with you for the past few years. Maybe just quickly start up. What does Rhombus do?
Yeah, so good question. So we are a cloud physical security platform. The easiest way I like to describe it is, if you're familiar with Nest or Ring, we do what Nest and Ring do, but for large enterprises, large organizations, we help secure them and help them manage their facilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the motivation when you decided I'm gonna do this?
Yes.
For the third time.
Yeah, this is my third time. I always like to say I'm a glutton for punishment here, but this one's been good. We were in the network security space before this, mobile security, network security, and we saw this trend of enterprises wanting to move to the cloud. Specifically, we saw them wanting to move network infrastructure to the cloud, firewalls, switches, Wi-Fi gear, and that was a fascinating trend for us. And so we just had this question of like, what other enterprise hardware that's dumb, that's not in the cloud, should be managed in the cloud? And we came across this physical security space, not an obvious space. I know you're familiar a little bit with it, but not very obvious to the outside world, but it's this massive market that includes video security, includes access control, includes alarms, but it's just really old school, a lot of dated competitors in there, companies that are 100 years old. And so that was fascinating to us. And we thought we could bring our experience in cybersecurity and all of our experience with cloud and essentially modernize this really dated industry.
Large market, broad application of AI,
lots
of data.
Yeah. And an industry where they're going to use a lot of data going forward. So traditionally, this has been about like security, reduced liability mitigation, but this is really becoming a business operations tool. Like, hey, how can I make sure that I'm in compliance, that there's not a construction worker somewhere that they shouldn't be, or that they're wearing hard hats, or that they're wearing vests, or in retail, let's do retail analytics now. Yeah, of course we have the cameras, but can they do more?
I mean, you've grown, I've watched you grow from tens of employees to several hundred employees very rapidly.
Yeah.
Now, today, what's the biggest challenges ahead?
People issues. As you probably know, you get people issues and just scaling an organization. Like what works at 10, 20, 30 people does not work at 100, 200, I'm sure at 5,000 people. You just have to keep reinventing the business and reinventing the organization, and also making sure that your culture, like what you had at 50 people, is still there at 200, 300 people, I'm sure. And this is where you have a lot of experience. I'm sure that those are missteps that a lot of startups can take. And so we're trying to be very conscientious at each step. Like, okay, now that we're moving into this next stage, like, are we putting the right processes in place to make sure that we can take the organization from 150 to 500 people?
How do you describe the culture of Rhombus?
I would say maybe like loosely or tightly coupled, loosely aligned. We like to give a lot of freedom to people. I'm an engineer in heart. I like to let people kind of figure out things on themselves, but I like to make sure people know what the mission is, that they know what the culture is, they know what where they need to be accountable, but they have a lot of latitude in there, because I don't know always the best solution. So we want people that are highly motivated, that they don't mind figuring out things themselves, but maybe a bit mission driven, that they want to, they're tied into the overall mission of Rhombus and want to help us succeed to get there.
Now, I mean, there's a lot of talk about AI, as you know.
Is that something
AI?
I haven't heard about it.
I mean, you've been doing this for a while. Has it changed anything in terms of what you were doing, or has it accelerated anything? How does it impact?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say, and from like the earliest days we talked to you, that was always part of our story. It was one of our thesis, or a thesis that we had, that AI would help change this industry. I don't know if it's changed too much of how we've gone about it. I think it's always just been part of our solution. Like, we know it's gonna be big, we know we have big data sets. Computer vision in particular is going through this massive shift right now, and acceleration of what's been able to be possible. So I think it's something that, yes, there's a lot of talk about it, especially in the last few months, but it's just something that's been part of Rhombus kind of since day one. And we know that has to be a big part of our solution going forward.
Let me tell you what I see about your culture, about your company. Number one, there is a pragmatism in you and your co-founders. And you do take feedback, your team takes feedback. You do give us a chance to speak our mind, and you do listen to us, which is a great pleasure for an investor to be able to, to voice your opinion, and you feel like that you're listening and you want to take some of the advice and looking at what we have to say. The other piece that I tell you is you guys are intensely product centric.
Yeah.
I mean, you do care about the product, the elegance of the product. You care about the look of the product, the design of the product. You care about the ease of the product. All of those things are incredible disciplines to have.
Oh, I appreciate that.
No, it's fantastic. Well, congratulations to the work you've started, your journey you started.
We're at the very beginning still.
I'm going to be there for a long time.
Well, we better be. Yeah. This is IPO or bust.
Yes. Now for that.
Yes.
Well, Garrett, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. We
All
appreciate the partnership.
Thank you.